You are now tuned in to the Cosmic Convos podcast, your number one source for accurate, relevant, and thought-provoking astrological conversations in the podcast nation. The place where stars and minds align.
Peace. You're now tuned into the Cosmic Convos podcast. I'm your humble host, Harut, and we got the man of the hour, Brother Ra. How you doing?
Well, brother, enjoying life, taking it a day at a time. How about yourself, man?
Same thing here, man. Just living this destiny, making sure I'm getting what I need to get from that, and, just trying to take everything to the next level. Indeed. But before we get too far, I want to remind you all that this episode is brought to you by Push It Forward Media Group, Calipusha Astrology, and our good folks over there on Patreon. Special shout out to the patrons. Definitely thank you all for all your support. Hopefully you've been able to, benefit from the things that we've been doing recently. And like I said, the Patreon, once you sign up and you're on that, it's like its own little community. You understand what I'm saying? We have posts on there that we don't post on social media. You can interact with us on a different level there. So, and you get the episode early too. So, reach out to us there and make sure, you're going in, checking out everything and tapping in with us and, let us know what you want to see. You know what I mean? Because we want to make sure, that, we're making this a exchange, you know what I'm saying, or whatnot, and you guys supporting the show, want to make sure that you're a part of it, Indeed. But, as usual, you can first, follow us at Cosmic Convo on Instagram. We post a lot of information there, right? And we're also on Cosmic Convos podcast on Facebook. We get a lot of engagement there. A lot of people, reach out to us there as well. And as far as Push It Forward Media Group, you can find us on Instagram at Push It Forward. That's PUSHITFWD. And you can find us on the web at that same handle, pushitforward.com. And there you can find the link to Cosmic Convos podcast. On there, you can purchase your sidereal, your Vedic astrology chart package for an excellent price. And outside of that, you can, for consultations and everything else, Brother Ra, how can everybody get a hold of you?
You want to hit me up primarily on Calipusha Astrology at gmail.com. That's the best way to hit me. If you can't tell, if you don't get a response immediately, which you usually do, but if you don't, go to Facebook or IG, and you can hit me up on Shechem Ra on either one of those. So either the Gmail or the Facebook or IG will definitely get a hold of me pretty quickly.
Indeed. So, here we are, man. Episode 22. Episode 21, I think turned out very well. I got a lot of feedback from people. A lot of people just got a lot from it. Just seeing that, this stuff is real. When you talk about your chart, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things going on in there. And I would have loved to been able to, connect with Nip.
Man, I felt the same way, brother. It's like, that's a brother we would have had a kindred conversation with, you know what I mean? And could have took some things to another level.
Indeed.
But, it works like that, man. You know, destiny sometimes cuts us short of opportunities we really could use to benefit and further and advance our people, you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, you know, especially in times like this, you know, it's a lot of uncertainty out there. Things are changing and stuff like that. And then I'm pretty sure in your own personal life, you know, you kind of feel that a little bit as well. You know, take advantage of that, you know, take advantage of, you know, these tools and, you know, getting with, you know, competent astrologers and, you know, if you know some good diviners and stuff like that, you know, you want to be making sure you're in the right rhythm. If it's something that you should be on the lookout for, you want to know that.
Without a doubt. I mean, imagine had I had the conversation with the brother and said, look, man, today would, you know, or, you know, this week, why don't you take a chill pill and, you know, let your business be handled by, you know, your employees and, you know, do that kind of thing. Cause we can't see, you know, when there's times when you should really lay back, you know, especially during a period that's intense, like the sun, you know, it's an intense period. And so, you know, he definitely would have gotten counsel as to, you know, avoid that situation if at all cost. But, you know, you take advantage because, you know, you realize that the powers that be don't want you to have this knowledge. And people say what's out there, and it is, but it's not in vogue and it's not promoted and won't be promoted. You will not see Vedic astrology on mainstream media. It's just not going to happen. And the reason is because you can Google or you can look up on YouTube. There's a fella that kind of breaks down why, but the elites have always used this. The elite class has always known that astrology works. Even in the Zohar, right? Mm-hmm. The Zohar has a whole 3 pages of material that support that astrology works. And this is Jewish mysticism at its finest. So, you know, it's not going to be in vogue, right? It's not going to be out there. So take advantage of people that you know that do have access to the real science, that have studied it and know it well in and out, because it works, right? I never fudge anything. When you come to me for a consultation, I straight start talking, right? I don't have to fudge. I don't have to squeeze and manipulate and cut and paste, right? It's just, it comes out. And I even show it to you, right, firsthand. Mm-hmm. And when people see it, their jaws hit the ground. You know, here's when your baby was born. Here's when your mother died. Here's when, I mean, it's there. It's written. Right. So, you know, when you start to see it that repetitiously, I mean, people ask, you know, do you believe in God? And I laugh at the question. I'm like, I don't have to. They're like, really? You don't believe in anything? I don't have to. I can see your destiny unfold before my very eyes. And so when we sit down and talk, I've never had anyone tell me I'm wrong. Never. And that is not a statement that I'm saying as me per my competence. I'm saying per the system, it's never been wrong. Right. So, you know, it's a science that truthfully, honestly, I'm humbled by. I still, to this day, when I do my clients' readings, I still get excited. I still have those epiphany moments like, wow, because I know what I'm looking at. And then when I show it to the client, they're like, this is amazing. So, you know, it is a science that works. We don't fudge it. It's clear cut. It's concise. It's unmatchable. You know, so by all means, take advantage, you know, take advantage.
Yeah. You know, some people like to live on the wild side. So, you know, good luck with
throw
that.
Those dice, huh? Hey, man, I hear you. I wouldn't know how to operate like that. You know what I mean? Like at this point in the game, it just, I think me doing things just for myself personally on a personal note is kind of like, you know what I mean? even within that context, I'm still looking at transits and movements and placements and things like that. So it's just innate, because when you do it so often, so much, it's always around you. So I don't think outside of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I was telling you when we were talking, I just walked into another 10-year cycle, right?
Right.
And pretty much almost like at the day, and I'm gonna reference another system, the Bazis system, right? Just walked into another 10-year cycle there. And the areas of life, my direct resources that kind of is highlighted in that 10-year cycle, and then my grandfather transition.
Wow! Boom!
Right when right when it happened. You know what I'm saying? That's direct resource, right? It's interesting.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what people don't get it when you really be. You're like, wow, because you see the unfoldment. You see the handwriting of the supreme being, like literally writing is like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So
my condolences, my brother.
Appreciate that, man. He's a solid guy, lived a very long life, about 97 years old,
Yeah. Knocking on 100, man. You get that far, you're doing something.
He had all his teeth and all his hair.
Wow. Wow. That's unheard of, man. Having all your teeth, like most of the time, yeah, man. When you get that age.
I think he was missing like a couple, like one down here, but he had all his tops and everything like that, full hair.
That's why he could live to be 97, because he could eat.
Yeah. Yeah, people overlook that, right? Like,
yeah, I'm telling you, man, you start looking at, man, you start losing your teeth and you can't eat. People take it for granted. They take it for granted. But when you can't chew, you start crying, you can't eat that nutritious meal. It starts affecting other systems, and then more teeth start falling out. It's domino effect.
Indeed. So, moving forward, I didn't get any Patreon questions this week. Just a lot of just feedback and stuff like that. So, for all the people out there that be like, yo, get to the topic, you're in luck this week. All right. We got no questions.
Right. We're jumping right in.
So, we had something else planned for this week, but, we gotta be current, right? And there's hot topics and things that's, jumping out there. So, we kind of touched on this person in an earlier episode back in season 1 when we were, doing some kind of projections on what the country would look like politically. But of course, there was a major announcement with the, Joe Biden, having Kamala Harris as his VP pick. So we had a chart we had already looked at and stuff like that. And I was like, man, we got to do Kamala Harris, because everybody is like, I mean, it's polarization at its finest, like, and and in today's episode, there's good reason for that polarization. It's there. All of it's there.
Yeah. Clearly cut, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and the thing is she's not alone,
Yeah.
Biden is in there, and destiny is destiny. You can't, that's what we kind of really been talking about is, when things are positioned in your chart or in your life to happen, they're going to happen, right? It doesn't matter what the conjecture is. It doesn't even matter if that person is derailed, right? It's going to happen, right? And we mentioned Kamala along with, we did mention Joe Biden. We talked about Andrew Yang, and we talked about Bernie, right?
Yeah.
And I think we even had Elizabeth.
We didn't have, it was Bernie and Elizabeth Warren. We don't have good times.
They're shaky. They were shaky, right? But I saw something in her chart originally that was notable. Especially because I know the Dasha period that I remember looking at it and saying, it was between her and Yang when I was looking, and I was saying she has a stronger propensity to be there because of those plays. Even though Yang's chart, and he did get further actually than her in the process of things, but destiny is destiny, and she's in a Rahu Dasha period. Rahu's a very powerful player when it's in a Kendra house, right? When I say Kendra, we're talking about 1, 4, 7, or 10. If it's in one of those houses, it's a power player, right? And I saw that. I remember looking at that Rahu in the ascendant, and it's in Gemini. Well, guess what? Right now, right?
Go ahead and pull it up.
Yeah, I'm going to throw it on up there, right? Right now, right? Rahu is transiting the ascendant. In fact, Rahu is at what degree today? I would beg to differ. It's probably right on her ascendant.
Rahu?
I mean, Rahu's right on her ascendant right now.
See.
Let's watch. Just watch the magic.
Two degrees. It's close.
And her ascendant's at what degree?
her ascendant's at 1 degree, but
Rahu's at 2 degrees.
It's right there. Yeah. Boom.
Wow. I'm trying to tell you, man, this ain't no joke. This ain't no joke. This is real deal. She's about to be the vice president.
See,
you can see it.
That was live. We didn't practice that. I promise.
This is straight up off the cuff, right? You can see this is her destiny. It's on Rahu right now. Right now. And here's the thing. It's gonna be on Rahu. It's gonna be on her ascendant until September 23rd, when Rahu transits into the 12th house. It's going to conjunct her Jupiter. Well, not immediately, but it will conjunct her Jupiter at in about a year and a half. But nonetheless, that particular placement, Rahu transiting the ascendant, and then it's moving back directly into, right, the 12th where Jupiter resides. You can't get any better than that particular timing for her. I mean, even when the election happens, Rahu will still be it'll be in the actual 12th house, but it's still very close to that ascendant degree. Very close. So that's a winner for her. That's automatic. Rahu grants you your wildest dreams, your wildest desires. People think Rahu's bad. No, Rahu just expels all the karma that you want to get out. He deals with all of the stuff that you really don't want to deal with.
Yeah.
Right. And so right now, as it stands, not only is it transiting her ascendant, she's in the dasha period of it. Right? Absolutely. Double whammy, right? Looking deeper in, you can see clearly that her Jupiter is in her 9th house right now. Mm-hmm. And that's very, very strong for partnerships. So her partner
is 7th house.
I'm sorry, 7th house. I'm sorry. Yeah, excuse me. Not 9th. 7th house is partners, right? Jupiter is there, right? And it's in its dignity. So it's moving. It's going to move into the 10th, and it's going to move then into the 11th. But right now, I'm talking about now, right? K2 is on the natal placement of K2, and then Rahu's on the natal placement of Rahu, and Jupiter is simultaneously transiting there. And that's why she was chosen, because her partner, right, is getting that power, gaining that ability. So again, right, showing clearly this is destined. This is something that's written. This is not something that's a fly by night. And I saw that Rahu in her ascended long time ago. And that was the one that pulled me towards leaning on her to saying she would be the candidate. Well, she's not technically the presidential candidate, but she is the vice presidential candidate.
Yeah.
And It's some funny things that are going to happen here in the near future. We're going to talk about those here briefly. But, you know, when you look at a chart, we can look at Biden's chart and you're going to see something very similar. Biden is Scorpio ascendant, right? And being Scorpio ascendant, right? He's got some things going on in his 7th house as well, right? So let's take a look, right? So Rahu is about to enter into his 7th house.
Yeah.
Which will then further power, influence, and inflate his partner.
Yep.
So they both have this partnership kind of boosting, going back and forth, which is beautiful for them running. And not only that, they have the same moon, right? So from their feeling or emotional perspective, it's very similar.
Yeah.
Right? Now,
same nakshatra.
Exactly. 4 degrees apart, right?
Yep.
That's pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, you know, you can see the affinity as to why he would gravitate towards her, because the moon for a woman is the primal planet for woman. Moon and Venus are the planets for women, like Sun and Mars are the planets for men. So when you see her moon in that 11th house and his moon is in her 11th house, meaning when we do synastry, they're pretty close in how they're going to affect one another. So they're feeling this. They know they're going to win, right? Everyone knows they're going to win, right? Even with the whole system of the mail-in ballots, yes, we know. But when you look at Trump's chart, Trump is about to be, his K2 is about to conjunct that moon.
Mm.
Right? And when you see that K2 conjunct that moon, man, it's not going to be a pretty day for him. Because guess when it's going to conjunct that moon? Right near, it's going to be passing over it during election. And that's hammer time for him, right? So showing that these kind of looking at them from each perspective and then combining them, you can see who's going to clearly win the race, right? People say, Trump might get in again. It's not destined, right? I told people if Trump was going to win the first time. I'm telling you, he's not going to win now, right? It's not destined for him. His time is up, right? When you see that K2 conjunct the moon is the 12th lord and the lord of loss, right? The lord of expenditure, the lord of sacrificing. See, when he got into office, K2 wasn't even in the vicinity of the 8th house. Well, it was in the 7th.
Yeah.
Right? So now going into the 8th, yeah, he's feeling it. And he's feeling the pinch and pressure of what like I said, right? When I made the prediction he'll be impeached, he was impeached.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He wasn't convicted, but he was impeached.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, right, that this whole momentum is going to fizzle out with this election. He's trying to hold on with iron grips. He is, but he's losing it. You can see it.
Yeah.
Right. And that moon, right, it's the 12th house, which is what the moon rules for him, is already in a combination that's heavily impacted. But this K2 is going to come in and finally render, because it's a nodal return. So it's going to render that explosive process through loss. Right.
Both of them have nodal returns. That's interesting.
They both do. Yeah,
yep.
They do. They both do. But this one nodal return is going to happen right on the election. Right on the election. I mean, wow. Talk about karma. Right? Serious business. Right? Rahu is going to swallow his sun, and K2 is going to dissolve his moon. Right? Simultaneously. Rahu is his ascendant, but the moon is the land of lost, the land of the lost. So literally all of that energy is going to fizzle right on out. Right? And then he'll be a president of the past.
Yeah, but it ain't gonna be pretty.
No, man. But it's not pretty. Well, it's not pretty right now because of the mail-in process. This mail-in process is not going to be an overnight thing, folks. It's going to drag out.
Yeah.
It's going to drag out. Right now, America's ascendant. Well, right now, as America's ascendant being Sag, you have the third lord in the second house, retrograde. Mm-hmm. The third house is your male system in a chart, right?
You see what he's already doing to the male system right now.
Yeah, he's taking all the boxes on. Yeah.
Well, he's not funding, he's defunding.
Yeah, defunding it too. Yeah. And they shut down the mailing, the sorting machines.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, come on, man. You know, it's kind of clear. You know, the gig is up.
Yeah.
But, you know, you go down with a fight.
Well, imagine
for him to do that.
Listen, if he doesn't win and we're sitting there, December, we still don't know nothing yet. He's
still president.
He's going to be inciting all types of nonsense out here.
Oh, look, 2020 ain't over yet, y'all. We got a little bit to go. So when you look at that date of November 3rd and K2's right on that moon, right over that moon, I'm like, wow.
I mean, because at this time period, Mars is doing that dance.
Yeah. Yeah. Going back and forth between that Piscean and these he's dancing on the cusp line. When Akrivarga, when they do that, that's when there's a lot of instability, especially when it's on that Gandanta zone.
Right on.
It's on that Gandanta zone.
Right on it.
It's dancing on it.
And, I mean, I'm talking about I got the transit pulled up now for Trump on November 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
November 3rd, 2020. We have that there. And look at the degrees. So 27.
I said it. I said it. Look, it's right there. On the day.
On the day.
Done for. It's over. People like, how do you, because, I got guys on there on Facebook. No, man, they gave Obama 2 terms. They're going to give him 2 terms. No, that's not how it works.
He don't have Obama's chart, man.
No, not even close. Not even close, man. Not even close. So, yeah, the gig is up, right? That Kamala Harris will be president, right? People say, well, how is that she's going to be vice president? Well, Mr. Biden, right? But yeah, I don't like to say things that, kind of implicate someone's loss of life or someone's diminishment of life, of health, but I have to call it the way it is. And people say, man, you could be kind of harsh when you say things like when I do your reading. It's my job to tell you the truth. I'm not here. I don't do Western astrology stuff where they candy coat and fluff it and you're all this and you're gonna hit the lottery and you're gonna get married next year. I don't do that. Right? I'm gonna tell you, no, you're not gonna get married next year. You're not gonna hit the lottery, and your dog might die. Right? Right? Because I have to tell you what your future is. Right? I have to tell you what to expect and how to prepare yourself to handle those things. That's the best thing for you to be able to do that, to handle it. You don't want to be sitting there and get caught slipping and say, hey, you didn't tell me my dog's going to die. Right? Well, I did. Mm-hmm. So with Biden, it's no different, right? He's not going to do well in this term. Number one, he has K2 moving through the ascendant. And K2 moving through the ascendant does not bode well for health. Just doesn't. Mm-hmm. This is, Rahu K2, they make their transits for 19 months. So for 19 months, he has to deal with this particular apparatus. And it's not a comfortable one. K2 is the planet that dissolves. It literally refracts. It breaks things down. And so when that K2 is moving through the ascendant, if you notice, he's not that healthy. He's really not. He's not a spry old man. I mean, I hate to say it, Trump is healthier if you really take a look, right? Mm-hmm. Trump has Mars in the ascendant, right? That's pretty healthy. most people with Mars in the ascendant have strong, robust systems, right? This guy's got the 12th Lord in the ascendant, right? Now he has Sun there, and Sun can give you robustness too. And I mean, granted, he's 79 years old, so he's not a spring chicken. He's been around for a minute, right? Mm-hmm. So the Sun has done his job, right? The Kindred Lord in the ascendant has definitely gave him a life force that's, probably lasted him, like you said, a good 80. But K2 is going to move through that and tap all of that in the next year. By October 3rd, 2nd to 3rd of next year, K2 will be right on his ascendant degree. And then from the ascendant degree, look, it's going to hit the Venus, which is the 12th Lord, right, in the ascendant. So again, 12th house is hospitalization, folks. Mm-hmm. Right? Long distance travel, foreign travel. Well, he's a president, so we're not looking for foreign travel. We're looking for something else. We're looking for ill health, for hospitalization. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. Not only that. So when K2 moves from the ascendant to Venus, now it's going to hit the Sun, which is your vitality, your chi, your overall robust energy that allows you to stave off whatever issues you may be having. Again, going to be diminished. So by this time, while he's diminishing, and remember, Rahu is in the 7th house simultaneously, bolstering the partner. Right? Now, when you look at the inauguration chart, right, we don't have that up, but the inauguration chart itself shows it's going to be a hell of an inauguration, right? It's not going to be one that's going to be a cakewalk, right? Mars will be back in his sign in Aries. You'll have 4 planets in Capricorn. That creates a square, right? It's a grand square, right? So it's not easy, right? There's going to be a hell of an election in the sense that when we get done with it, it's going to be, this country will be a whole different ballgame, right?
What time is the inauguration usually?
You got November 3rd on there.
Right? Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. January, what date is it?
Inauguration is January. It's the same every year. I'm saying every.
January 20.
Yeah, check that date. Should be quite a few planets in Capricorn. There it is. So we got Sun, Saturn, Jupiter, and Mercury. Woo-wee. That is nice.
Cal Sarpa.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That is nothing nice, folks. That's serious business.
And if it comes on at noon, I don't know. I ain't gonna say nothing about that. I don't know. At noon seems like a reasonable time, but I'm not sure what time the inauguration starts.
I think it should be like 10 a.m.
10 a.m.?
Like between 10 a.m. to noon. I think it's in the morning.
Okay.
But it should be Aries ascendant. I'm pretty sure. If you go back to noon, probably hit you off at Aries. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know it will. No, yeah, it's gonna be noon. It's noon. All right. Yeah. So looking at this as an Aries ascendant, you got Uranus in Aries. Yeah, man. Moon's in Aries. Yeah, man. Yeah. It's going to be a doozy. Look at all of that localized energy in Capricorn. And Capricorn is big business. Capricorn is corporations, and Capricorn is government. So all of that energy is imbibed. Saturn wasn't there 4 years ago.
No.
Jupiter wasn't there 4 years ago. right? So when you understand that sun is always going to be there, right? Because that's the clock. Every year it's going to be there until we change another sign in 2,160 years, right? Well, actually, no. Well, that's correct, yes. But nonetheless, right, that this particular placement is showing a very tense country at that time.
Chandra Maglu right there.
Chandra Maglu.
Yeah, the Kalsarpa, we talked about that.
And look at Venus in the 9th house. She's about to be president. Watch, right? She's about to be president. He's going to go through some serious issues. As the leader of the known world, he's about to go through serious issues.
You know what? Here's the thing about it. Looking at Kamala's chart, she knows it.
Yes, she knows it. Yes, she knows it. She knows it. They know it. He knows it. He knows it. He knows. That's why that man will not leave his house. He like, bump that. That man is not, he's healthy enough. Let's say that. But that 12th Lord in the Ascendant and then K2 moving through to tap it, it's not going to bode well. So what I suspect is when Jupiter gets into her 9th house, when Jupiter gets into her 10th house, in her second to third year term, that's what'll kick in. That's when she'll take over. Pretty sure of it, man. Right? Because Rahu would actually be moving right. It would move past Jupiter into the 11th. And guess what? If it moves into the 11th, it's going to conjunct her moon. And Jupiter will be moving into her 12th house. So that gives her, the 12th house is a prominent powerhouse. So it's going to give her the power that she needs to make that happen. And it's going to aspect Mars.
10th, right?
Yeah, it's in the 10th house, but it's going to aspect Mars from the 10th.
Yeah.
It's going to give her the power she needs to be president. Once she's in, she won't be reelected. This will be her only shot. And after that, someone else will take over. But nonetheless, that's what I predict is that Kamala Harris will be president between the second and third year of her term. If not the third year, not the second year, definitely the third year, carry out the rest of the term of presidency. And Joe Biden will have to take a back seat. He may not pass, but he definitely will be very incapacitated in doing that. He will need hospitalization because not only that, he has 2 planets in the 12th house, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah, Mars and Mercury.
Yeah, and Mars obviously is his ascendant lord, right? In the 12th, right? And then here, and not only that, yeah. K2 is going to pass through all of that, right? So again, right? I mean, it's going to hit Mercury, right? Mercury is the 8th lord, 11th lord, not good. In the 12th, and it's conjunct Mars, the ascendant lord, not good. Now he has a Parvatana between the 1st and the 12th, which would give some relief to some degree. But when K2 goes through there and does his thing in Libra, he will no longer be viable as president.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of the thing is about it is, I think I'm pretty sure he got some cosmetic work done to make him look more vibrant than what he's actually is. Like something you got like a pullback or something. You know what I mean? Because
yeah. Got some upgrades. Yeah,
because you see where he's at mentally, but when you look at him, he look like he should be sharper than what he is. But you can tell he's definitely taking some steps back.
Oh yeah, I mean the way he moves, his body language, his ability to react, his intensity, his fervency, all of those are diminishing. And for him to campaign out of his home shows, this couldn't have been a better election for him to win, right? Because I don't even think he has it in him to travel like that. I think this is just the perfect storm for him to do what he does. Because really, I mean, truthfully, traveling like that and doing all that running around, the guy's not healthy enough to do that stuff. Looking at Kamala's again, yeah. When Jupiter gets into the 12th to the 10th, it's going to be a different day. It's going to be a different day, and Jupiter will be in his 5th house, which is advisors. So I'd look at that, like 5th house is advisors, ministers, prime ministers, right? That's the 5th house. Well, ministers, right? Because prime minister would be like the president, which is the 10th. But ministers, you're a cabinet, right? That kind of thing is 5th and 9th house, right? And that it just shows strongly that not only that, because the 7th from him will have Rahu there for a good period of time. Jupiter will then enter in his 5th house of advisors, which will aspect natal Jupiter, right? And this is why he's going to win now, folks. He's actually in his Jupiter Dasha period. He's actually in his Dasha Sandhi period right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
he should be in Jupiter Rahu Dasha.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yep. So he's Jupiter Rahu Dasha. He's going to enter into his Saturn Dasha in 2022. Saturn is in the 7th house. Mm-hmm. The 7th house is it's a Maraca house. It's a killer house. Right. So, and killer houses happen. See, Maraca house, the killer houses only happen when you're old, right? They don't do it when you're young. Right? Well, violent death happens when you're young, mm-hmm. right? So you look to the 8th house and the 2nd and 7th to support it, but the 8th is violent death, right? 7th house is old age death, right? 2nd house is when you're old, right? So we look for those particular placements when they get up in age, when they're like Poc's age, Nip's age. You won't see. It's harder to see those 2nd and 7th lords, and they can still affect it, but again, it's more for the elderly, right? Mm-hmm. And so right now we see that he is going to go through a major health crisis here in the next few years. I can assure you this, right? So look.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was about to say now, with that being said, I wanted to get into what type of, what should we expect from Sister Kamala?
Oh, wow.
Because that's what has everybody in the uproar, because she's a polarizing figure. There's a lot of, stories, a lot of, mixed information out there about her.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all over the chart.
Well, the chart ain't mixed.
Let's get into it.
The chart is clear cut. With the first thing I'm going to go to, folks, the first thing that we look to, and, I hate to do this, right? Because it's like there's rules that say, well, not all debilitations do this, not all exaltations do this. But look, there's some truths to this, right? The 2 planets that are the worst to have debilitated in a chart, first of all, primarily number 1 is Saturn. That is the worst, right? Period. And it's harder to come back from a Saturn debilitation. It just is, right? Second is Mars, right? In that order. And Mars is different for men and women, right? Because we're different in essence in how we function, and the planets do different things for different sexes. Mars is not the same for a woman as it is for a man.
Yeah.
So for a man, it's his manhood, it's his manliness, his ability to aggress, the ability to defend, to protect, and so forth. So for a man, man's debilitation of Mars is more internalized, and it's more challenging in the sense of acquiescing that power, right? That courage, but it's still there and it still has to be played out. But for a woman, she's not Mars naturally, right? She's Moon and Venus. So where her Mars is debilitated, it's harder for her to gain control and manage that apparatus. And so for a woman to have debilitated Mars is harder to deal with. Number one, because she usually attracts people that are combative to her, to teach her how not to fight useless battles. It creates a hair trigger, right? Mars and debilitation. And, hair triggers, there's a trigger within a trigger, right? So you could pull back once and shoot the trigger and boom, right? But a hair trigger is boom, 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 right? And you can sense that readiness to attack. If you watch her, you can sense she's ready, like she's on edge, right? She has an edginess to her, right? Not only an edginess, but a downright almost. She's almost not. She's the edge. She's the edge of being combative. You could tell she pulls back because she doesn't say what's really on her mind. You can see that.
Yeah.
Right. She wants to say something else, but she knows politically being PC, I better do it this way. But trust, right? When she gets into presidency, you're going to see and feel everything that she wants to say and will do. Reason being, because number one, Mars is in the second house, right, of speech. Now, she didn't get to be a lawyer by being an idiot, obviously, right? Yeah. But there's a saying that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely, right? Yes. And so when she's there, because she's already had an abuse of power in her tenure as the attorney, excuse me, as prosecuting attorney and as attorney for the state of California. So being that, we can see that she's abused power, and Mars and Cancer can abuse power. That's something that they are going to have to deal with. And it's strange because she's gotten this far with all of this abusive disposition, but it's in the right place for the right people, right, for the wrong reasons. Right? Because she's doing this, right? I mean, I hate to say it, but she'd be one of those that would have been caught you and turned you in, right? You trying to get away. She turned you in. Yeah. She said, "No, Massa, he's over there in the bushes, right there." Right? I'm telling you straight up, she's one of those. She's not going to all of that talk about, reparations, and she said what she meant originally. She said, "I'm not going to do nothing for black people, period." Right? Not you as a people. I'm doing something for everybody. But then she turns around and does something.
Yeah, it's her values. That second house is like, her value system is, altered.
Yeah, it's damaged. Yeah, right. And it's almost like she want to hurt, like somebody hurt her. So she got to hurt somebody. You know what I mean? Like that Mars debilitation. And here's the thing about the Mars debilitation, folks. Mars can be at any point in debilitation in Cancer, right? It could be 0 degrees to 29 degrees. It's debilitated. But the thing about her debilitation is it's exactly at 28 degrees 1 minute. The degree of debilitation for Mars in Cancer is 28 degrees. So it's right on the degree, meaning it is deeply debilitated. Deeply debilitated, not kind of debilitated. See, let's say if it was at 12 degrees, right? You would notice some of those things, but it wouldn't be per se so apropos to be just so harsh. She wouldn't be so harsh.
Yeah.
It will soften her some. But this sucker here, man, is for real. It is debilitated. And yes, people say, well, what about the cancellations? Yeah, they're there. But let me tell you about the cancellations in this regard. So the cancellation happens for one because the moon is in the Kendra or is in 1, 4, 7, or 10 from the debilitated planet, right? But it's moon, and moon is not in Capricorn, which would be right a debilitation cancellation. Moon is not in Libra, which would be a cancellation, right? It's in Aries. So what does that do? Well, it creates a Parvatana exchange between Moon and Mars. So now this woman is truly fiery. She does not have that kind of sensibility of a woman, the kindness, the gentleness, the reprieve, the rest that a woman provides the world, the reassurance. No.
Well, you could see in this period of time, from Moon through the Mars Dasha, that she probably amassed a lot of wealth and status through that time period. She got busy.
And was throwing them in there, man.
Yeah, she was. I mean, just her climb to the top was probably, it was an interesting one.
Man, throwing them in there, man. Throwing them in. Just throwing them in. Just throw them in. And here's the thing. Mars is in the 4th from the moon. So that means she feels this way. She feels, right, like she got to exact justice, but not justice, her justice, or whatever policy of justice there she's rendering. She doesn't see the whole. She doesn't see truth. She doesn't see the contextual aspects of life when it comes to criminal behavior. She sees black and white. Mm-hmm. Either you did it or you didn't. And not only that, but for her to be so insensitive and to laugh and to make light of the incarceration that was placed on individuals because of marijuana. And then she turns around and says, oh, no, let's go ahead. And I mean, I'm sorry, man. Like, if you can't see this as politics at its worst and best at the same time, something wrong. Right. Not only that, she has Sun debilitated. Now, Sun it's canceled because it's in the Kendra from the moon. Yes. But it's in the 5th house. Right. And not only that, Mars aspects the Sun and Mercury, further inflaming her disposition.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Mars aspects the 3rd Lord. So it's almost like Mars has an impact to the 3rd house very prominently. Again, this is not somebody you want to trifle with.
No.
Right. This is someone that really will cause us. I don't want to say this, but it's very much so looking. She's the type of person to push the button by accident.
Look, Trump is a bit of a paper tiger.
He is.
She's a tiger.
She's a tiger. Yeah. She's no joke. And so we are in for it, folks. Now, Biden will ride us out for a couple of years because, you got to make the transition. But when she gets to that podium and presidency of the United States on that banner is in front of her, you will see the true essence of a woman that is what do you call this? A saying. She's a cold heart. She's cold-hearted. When I say cold-hearted, Mars is hot, right? Mm-hmm. But Mars also is a part of us that cuts, that can be ice cold, that can be deadly. And she is that type of person. I'm telling you. She's got Venus in opposition to Saturn in Leo, right? That means that this sister has a disposition that she deals with her femininity from a cold perspective. Saturn aspects the moon. Cold. I'm telling y'all, right? When you see these combinations, I mean, I've been in relationships firsthand, 1-to-1, like not just doing consultations over and over and over and over for different people with these combinations. I've dealt with people firsthand in my bedroom, in my house, in my life that have these combinations similar, and they do not play. Saturn opposition to Venus doesn't play. Saturn aspecting Moon doesn't play. Mars aspect Saturn and Mars aspect Sun. It's us all over the place. And then the planet that you would say would be the saving grace that would give her some resolve of compassion, understanding, it's in the 12th house. I'm telling you, folks, you thought orange hair was something. Well, yeah, Kamala, right? Harris is going to be a doozy, right? Because Biden ain't nothing. Biden, he's fake. You can see Biden's just there. He's like a puppet, right? But her, yeah, we're gonna be in for the next. When she gets in for that term or that period, it's gonna be a doozy, right? It's gonna be an uproar. Folks gonna want her out, just like they wanted him out.
And see, the key thing about what's being said now, because it sparked a whole big social media debate. People is talking about her identity and all that stuff like that. We ain't talking about none of that. I don't care about none of that. Looking at the chart, this is what it says. This is as objective as you can get.
Yes. This is clearly written in stone, right? And this is not a type of person that's going to change her disposition. Mama always said, you can tell a person about who they marry, right? And I'm not saying anything about the guy. I don't know him personally at all. But I know when a woman chooses a man that has a certain disposition, even his look, his characterization, that's who she re-energizes with. That's who she feeds off of. That's who feeds her in the backdrop. Nah. Yeah. That's and granted, here's the thing. She doesn't have any children. Right? Mm-hmm. That changes a woman's perspective. Right? Anytime a woman has a child, any person has a child, even if you're not a great parent, even you're a sucky parent, something inside of you still has a different disposition, right? You change your perception of life, right? And many times I've noticed that when women have challenges or issues in regards to the ability to hold life extendedly, right, that Mars plays a big role, right? And Mars aspecting the fifth, right, it's definitely and aspecting the third lord. And then that third lord is in a Parvatana with the fifth lord, meaning they exchange. So this person clearly, that she just doesn't have the depth of character to deal with something from a real heartful perspective. She's heartless, right? And so I hope we bowl well with, things that the one thing that we know is they've got their hands full, right? Whoever comes in office is going to have their hands. You ain't got to have much time to be playing or doing stuff that's backdoor or shady, right? But again, once that kind of boils over, and COVID will, right? It'll take a couple of years. We would say back to normal. I don't think we'll ever have a normal again, right? Not like we had, but it will be to where there will be some resemblance of normalcy, right?
Yeah.
And when that happens, when you get comfortable, that's when the killer comes, right? When there's an uproar, they're too busy. But when it settles in the second or third year, right, and she comes in, you'll remember this. For the last three presidencies will definitely go down in history, right? This one included. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. So gird yourself, folks, right? Because she is going to be she's going to be hell on wheels. Right? And if she hears it, she knows it. She can't deny it, right? These people, you can't deny what's written inside of you, right? Because she plays it out to a T. I mean, she plays it like a fiddle. Because I've sit there and I've watched it over and over. And I even had the inkling of to say, if she gets in, man, before this even happened, if she gets in, whew, it's gonna be a different ball game. I would beg to differ. We'd be so ready for her to go. Whoever comes next, whoever it is, we'll be ready, right? We'll be happy because she's gonna create that much drama. If she doesn't get in office, then we'll be all right. Let's visualize Biden being healthy. So she could do damage as vice president. Yeah. Right? But as a president, man, it's not the world. You think the world looked at us crazy with Trump in office, but her in office, the world's going to be like, oh boy, why and how? Yeah, definitely. And then she's going into a Rahu Dasha. She's in one now, so yeah, she'll be there until Jupiter till 2030. So yeah, and Rahu is in the ascendant. So Rahu's in it's in Mrigashira, which calms it down. Yeah,
I was looking to see if it was an Arjun. I was about to say,
It's an Arjun, man, boy, she'd be a wild one. Yeah, but here's the thing though, it's in Mrigashira. Mrigashira's sublord is what?
Mars.
Boom. Which is not good. Right? It's not good because Mrigashira likes to search. They're searchers. Right? They're fickle. They will change in a dime. They will change on your behind quickly. I'm telling you, this is how she built. And she's Gemini. See, Taurus and Gemini both hold Mrigashira. But Taurus's side is solid because it searches for pleasure. It searches for things that are Taurian based. This one searches for Gemini things, which is information, ability to kind of be that Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde disposition. Right. And finding ways to manipulate that and to influence that. It's not good. Right. So again, we're gonna be in for it, folks.
Indeed. And like I said, it's not personal. It's not attacks or nothing. It's just looking at the chart objectively.
It is what it is. When you look at Mrigashira, man, they're very persuasive, but they can shift like a deer. It's like a deer. Mrigashira is a deer. It is a deer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a deer, deer, you walk up to it, it's nice and boom, gone. Yeah. And can flip. And then there's Gemini Mrigashira. So it can flip. Watch. Not only that, and we'll cut it off. We'll leave it at this. We'll tighten it up from here. Because I think we've done enough.
But we still on the short and sweet side. We're still good.
Yeah, we are. The ascendant Lord is conjunct Sun. So that stability that could be there with the ascendant Lord being placed in a Kendra or conjunct an exalted planet or a planet that's not debilitated is conjunct a debilitated planet. So again, further emphasizing her shiftiness, right? The instability of Mrigashira, right? Yeah, man.
She has the perfect, configuration to be to navigate the American political arena.
She's perfect. You couldn't call you. She's perfect. Perfect. Moon in the 11th. Yeah, she's perfect. Yeah, and then women, and when a lot of times women, she's a woman, she's a black woman. I don't care about, when you learn about Heroku Huti, he says, look, it might look the same on the outside, but it's not the same on the inside. So just because you look this way doesn't mean, see, that's how you get caught slipping, right? That's how we get caught slipping as a people, because we always want to put something out there because they're black or they got black in them. That don't mean nothing now. You got the black, it can be just as white as anybody else, right? So I don't gauge it on that. You know what I mean? I gauge it on what the person does, how they treat people, their track record, their history, what they do for our people, what they stand for. This woman doesn't stand for anything but being in a position of power. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. She doesn't stand for anything but power. And she's obviously power hungry with that Mercury conjunct. And I'm not saying this is a negative thing to slight her as an individual. I don't know her personally, but I do know her personally, through her destiny. So I can tell you, if she sat down with me right now, she wouldn't deny any of these things because she can't. Right? She can't.
She might.
She would try. She would try with a Gemini. She's a lawyer, right? So she's gonna lawyer up. But you can't escape who you are.
Yeah.
I deal with people that are lawyers, all kind of people. I have all kind of clients. So right, doctor, you can't escape. Right? You can try, but once a competent astrologer pops the hood, we can see. Right? Don't take much. And I'm telling you, right? Mega shearers are the most. They're number one. They're the worst at one of the worst at relationships, right? Mega shearer and Dahanishta have the two most challenging areas in love, right? Those two, right? Where if Venus is in Mega shearer or Venus is in Dahanishta, if Dahanishta or Mega shearer is the ascendant, right? Those are ones that have problems, right? Well, I think Dahanishta's top, and then Mrigashira is right below it. But one of the things is that deer flightiness, that deer fancifulness, the deer kind of play it by ear type deal. That's what she does. She plays it by ear, right? So it's like a deer, like hunting. Okay, what's the right answer? Oh, here I'm gonna say this because it's PC. Or I'm going to say this because it might get some votes. Or I'm going to say this because it's going to make me look better, right? None of it has anything to do with truth. It's always based on the moment, right? And when you dealt with somebody on a first-hand level, on a daily basis, that's when you really learn to knock shots. You're like, yeah, I'm going to learn all about this because I know, right? I know how you are. And this is what they do. They will be the greatest person in the world to you. In the initial process, they will promise you everything. They will do everything for you. Oh, I love you. Oh, I'll be your best friend. And in a moment, where they at? Where'd they go? They moved to Texas. What? That kind of shiftiness, right? This is Gemini, Mrigashira, right? See, Rahu, Ardra it's wild. It's wild. So it's just wild. It's out there. It's going to do whatever. It's going to experience. It's going to have fun. It's going to, right? Because it's wild. But Mrigashira is seemingly controlled, but it's shifting, right? So again, right? And they don't do well unless things feel right? They have a great deal of suspicion. It's like a deer. You know what I mean? When you really see it, it's like a deer. You know, the deer is like suspicious, like somebody's coming, right? But then she got a debilitated Mars with it. So boom! Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to shoot you. I thought you was somebody else. I'm just saying, right? You can clearly see, man. We're in for a very interesting ride.
Absolutely, man. But we got tools. There are tools available.
Oh yeah, to those that are initiated, this is light work. Yeah, this is light work. Yeah. So
I would suggest everybody, whatever your spiritual disposition is, to tap into that. You're gonna need it. Indeed.
This is a lull before another storm that's coming.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. All right. So with that being said, I want to remind you all again that this episode was brought to you by Push It Forward Media Group, Kala Prusha Astrology, and our patrons over there on Patreon. Our patrons on Patreon. I said it right. All right. Again, special shout out to all of y'all. Thank you for all your support. And for all our listeners, make sure you share this stuff. Share this with your family, your friends on Facebook, your Instagram followers and stuff like that. Let people know. And if you got some people that you're connected with and stuff like that got some things going on, let's maybe shoot us a DM or something so we can talk about it. Because we're gonna be doing some different things with the show coming soon. Just adding different elements to it, and stuff like that. So we're trying to take this to the next level, because especially episodes like this, the world needs to hear this. All right. The world needs to hear this information, right? Because there's a lot of, it's just, after you study astrology, you get into, different, oracular tools and stuff like that. You don't want to hear too much opinion talk no more. Right? You just, I don't have a high tolerance for it.
It falls deaf on the ear real quick, because there's mechanisms behind whatever's going on. So, but the Dogons say they have 4 levels of understanding, right? And most of us don't even think on the second level. We think on the first level, which is Giri So, which is the front word, right? But you got Bolo So, you got Bene So, and you got Sodai, right? I always know from astrology that the Bolo So, the side word, right? You can look, there's something behind it, on the side of it. There's a mechanism that's pushing, pulling, activating. And that's when you say, wait a minute, then let me get to the Bene So, which is the back word. Oh, let me see behind it. Let me see what is, oh, she got a Mars that's debilitated. See, the Bene, the Bolo So would be her upbringing, right? Understanding her upbringing, these kind of contextual things, right? And then we said, nah, something's behind that. So, oh, well, look at the Mars debilitated. Look at these things, right? That's the Bolo So. But the Sodai is when we can take all of it, right? And then clearly see what's going to happen into the future, right? So all of those different levels have to be assessed in everything that you look at on a major level. If you're not doing that and you're looking at the front word, you'll always be tricked, right?
Absolutely. So, yeah, definitely, we want you guys to help us, accomplish that, get this to more people, get this to the world,
Spread the word.
Indeed. So, like I said, thank you all for tuning in. We'll be back here next week, same time, same place. And, Brother Bob, if you don't have anything else to say, man, we can close it out, man.
No, actually, I don't have anything else to say, but definitely hit me up if you're interested in getting a consultation. The consultation blocks are getting full quickly, so hit me now, because at some point I'm going to have to shut it off, because I have so many readings basically scheduled. I have to kind of block it off and then start at a later date. So definitely get at me as soon as you can, so we can get you scheduled.
Absolutely. So with that being said, y'all, again, follow, share the episode, like us on YouTube, all that good stuff. And, be safe out there. All right. We're out. Peace.